Um, so you've been drinking Kangen water for how long? Since
January.
January. Um, what different demos did you see in regards to Kangen water? Either before you started drinking it or after we got the machine? What different demos did you see? Whether you saw them on the video or if I did them here at the house?
I didn't really see any.
Like cleaning vegetables, like with food preparation, or the different pH levels with the pH drops.
I saw that.
Did you realize what a difference there was between the Kangen water and the water that just comes out of our faucet, which we drank from time to time, or even the water out of the regular bottles that we used to buy?
Yeah, the water out of the spigot stinks.
Smells bad?
Yes.
Yeah. What differences have you noticed since starting or switching to Kangen water? Whether just throughout your normal day or any differences as far as...
Physically, there's just like little things that you notice every day, little aches and pains that aren't as obvious anymore. I don't know if that is the effect of the
I think that a lot of research has been done as far as... So with Kangen water, the water from your spigot goes through the machine and goes through a process called electrolysis, which then shrinks the hydrogen molecules, basically replicating molecular hydrogen, which can only be found in maybe 3 or 4, maybe 5 different places throughout the world in like with an active site or at an active site. And molecular hydrogen is shown to have different therapeutic effects. Some basic ones which people can probably relate to would be anti-aging, so healthier skin, healthier body, things like that. And then also anti-inflammatory effects, so people might have those aches and pains you talked about due to having inflammation in different parts of the body. And then also it's also said to have some anti-cancer fighting capabilities. But anything specific that you can think of as far as like the aches and pains you talked about, or maybe tiredness throughout the day, different things like that? What types of aches and pains were you maybe experiencing before the switch?
Well, you just have certain things that you have aches and pains of, daily routine things that you do, and you notice aches in your elbows or your knees or your back, and they're apparently now not as obvious. I mean, I'm just not even experiencing any of that.
Okay. So even without maybe with you not having such a great background knowledge as far as maybe, I mean, you don't use a computer, so you don't do much research, but what would you say to someone who's thinking about possibly trying to get samples or maybe even making the switch to Kangen water? What would you recommend it? Would you
Most
say
definitely.
they should try and experience, or I guess make the effort to get their hands on some Kangen water so that they could possibly experience the same things that you have experienced.
Yeah, but I don't think it's going to happen overnight. I mean, it's
Right.
been a 9 months,
Yeah.
going on 10 since I've been drinking it, and I've noticed a difference in that short a time or before. But
Yeah. Obviously, it's not going to happen, like you said, overnight. Might. I guess the first time we ever talked to anybody about it was maybe February or March, and you had already said that you had experienced some of the different changes like you're talking about here, as far as the aches and pains going away, maybe you notice anything as far as I guess a lot of people could say someone gets done working out, or you're outside working because you make picnic tables and it's a hot day, and you would maybe chug down a 16-ounce bottle of store-bought water. Would that like maybe fill you up? Make you feel kind of bloated maybe? You notice anything as far as bloat's concerned with this type of water?
no, I haven't.
Stomach issues, things like that?
Nope.
And that's something too with the way that the machine works to shrink the hydrogen molecules. It helps with absorption of whether it's the water into your body or even nutrients from food. I personally don't know that I've been doing anything different as far as exercise, diet, things like that, but I can say that I mean, I probably weigh 15 to 20 pounds more than I did last year at this time, and I think that most of those gains, you could say, came from probably just within this last 9 months. Different people have told me that they've seen a difference. I don't know if you have in my body as far as maybe looking bigger or leaner or whatever it may be. This is more geared towards people who are into fitness or work out, but ultimately this is most important from a health standpoint. How much weight have you lost since starting? Do you think that the water has anything to do with that?
It's a possibility. Probably 50. I've lost 50 pounds.
And then we did something a little bit different with your diet as well, which definitely helped. And I see a lot of people these days doing 30-day metabolic resets, or another one's like a 20-day metabolic reset to try and reset your metabolism. But I mean, we did it. I mean, you can. What do? We switched you from eating 3 times a day to 6, right?
Yeah.
Same exact food. Just instead of eating 3 major meals, we split his 3 meals into 6, which ultimately, the more frequent your meals are, the more your metabolism is going to have to work. So it kicks your metabolism back into gear. So those things don't really have to do with Kangen water, but this is mostly about Kangen water and just the positive effects. And you wouldn't say that you've seen anything negative from making the switch, have you?
No.
I don't really know that there can be any negative side effects from drinking water, but drinking the right water definitely can bring about positive side effects. So
I've noticed a difference in the way I pee when I go to the bathroom.
yeah,
I think it's a better flow, or
I mean, I guess you can maybe say consistency, but what about as far as your hydration levels? Staying hydrated, because you've always drank water throughout the day, so
yeah, I always
there's no
drink tap
difference.
water.
There's no difference in the amount of water you're drinking, but the type of water.
Right.
What do you think as far as hydration is concerned?
Well, I think I'm plenty hydrated. I probably could drink more in the evenings, but I drink the Kangen water in my coffee too. I mean, that's the only
Right.
water that I drink is.
Any differences as far as the way the coffee tastes? Because
Well, yeah, because you don't have that stinking whatever smell it is in the water, in the city water.
right. And what a lot of people fail to realize is that whether it's bottled water from a store, Walmart, which is great value, Giant, which is Giant brand, Sam's Club, whatever those types of places are, that's not, it might be a little bit better than what you're getting out of your tap. Some people's tap water might be great because it's from a well, but all those bottles, it's just basic water. They're allowed to say it's purified. They're allowed to say it's from a spring. But ultimately, what people fail to realize is if you don't test it, you don't really know. So we put Kangen up against bottled water, up against tap water, and you can see the difference. Even if the water out of a bottle shows up to be alkaline, so that's one thing I guess we could have touched on. You can either be under 7 pH or above, or right at 7, which is neutral. Anything under 7 is acidic, which ultimately we don't want our body to be in that type of state. We want to try and stay as neutral as possible, or even stay alkaline. So a lot of those bottled waters, whether it's even Aquafina or Dasani or Smart Water or whatever type of special water you want to buy from a store that sounds good or sounds great, it's still, I mean, Kangen water is basically straight from the source coming out of our machine, so it can't get any more alkaline than what it is coming out. Those bottles, they sit for X amount period of time, where even if they do say it's alkaline when it enters the bottle, you don't know how long it's been sitting, so that can decrease the alkalinity, then which in turn decreases the effects of drinking the alkaline or water with a higher pH. Another thing that people don't realize is when you swallow, water goes through a process of oxidation. So when we do the test, we take a straw, we blow through the straw. It might appear alkaline when you start, but as it goes through the process of oxidation, swallowing, the bottled waters, the tap waters, the pH decreases within, a 15, 20, 30 second period of time, where Kangen water, it can stay at its 9.5, 9, 8.5, whatever the pH setting you choose, it can stay at that level for 24, even sometimes up to 48 hours. So this video is basically just to spread some knowledge, bring you some insight, and a little bit of a testimonial from someone who's experienced the benefits, who's not me. So hopefully that video is helpful, and hopefully some of you reach out and I can talk to you more and you can learn more, and we'll see what we can do for you. But I'm not gonna, can't have a steady stream of traffic coming through the house grabbing water every day. But if you want to try some, I'll give you maybe, the Kangen stores give out 2 gallons at a time, because if you're drinking a gallon a day, it works for the next 2 days, obviously. But if you give out a sample and you let it sit, it's a waste to do that anyway. So if you're really passionate about it or really interested in trying it out, we can maybe work something out. But if it's going to end up sitting for days and days, it's almost not worth anyone's time to do that. So we're here to help. We're here to, again, spread knowledge, bring you insight, and hopefully that was doing just that.